Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Texas Ticket Show. It's Armando. I'm with Gina Magali Rodriguez.
That's right. Hi.
It's good to see you,
Feels
Gina.
like I haven't seen you in a while.
It feels like forever. Yeah.
Good to see you.
It's good to see
I like that
you.
shirt. You look sharp.
Thanks. I think the last time I wore it was during the Montgomery County Fair and Rodeo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I do a little rodeo in my spare time.
Wow. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been
Okay,
good.
good.
School's got me scatterbrained, and I think everybody's going off on that. But there's no award for making it. You know what I mean? There's no, congratulations. You made it.
You made it through the summer, of course.
You made it through
yes.
school registration.
Meet the teachers going on right now. So lots of fun. For the kiddos.
and new superintendent out at MISD. We'll probably see him on a lot of the shows here at Lone Star Radio
that's
coming
cool.
up. Yeah,
I'm excited.
I think Dr. Heathcott has stepped out, and there's a pro ISD pro tem or I don't even know.
Pro Timmer.
Yeah, pro temmer. We don't even know how to word that. But we're excited about the grand finale of the summer, the coup de grace. It's a lot of finishes to the summer, but it kicks off a new season, and that they call the festival season.
Of course.
It's
Fall Fest season. Oh
We
my
are
gosh.
on festival season, the official festival season, which is great because a lot of these things are some of our I don't know, just right in our wheelhouse. I mean, it's so nice to see all the from Christmas to Thanksgiving and just these built-in national holidays, but global holidays. Then there's local. And then there's the hyper-local holidays.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah.
stuff we do, like the lighting of the tree.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's not celebrated nationally. People in Europe don't celebrate
No,
that
it's
we
what we
light
do
the tree here
Yeah,
in Conroe.
yeah.
I don't know. I thought they did when I was growing up,
No.
But I found out it's not true at all. It's just local. But we've got, the Catfish Festival. We've got the Renaissance Festival.
Oh my God!
That's October 7th.
Yes.
And I'll go ahead and just put that out there. October Texas Renaissance Festival starts October 7th, 2023.
Woo.
And man, I've seen some crazy stuff. We're gonna get into it in just a minute about ticket pricing going way down over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Like discounted way down?
Well, let's see. Things you need to know about the Renaissance. 5 to 12 are half price every Saturday, and 5 to 12 are free every Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So they're half price. They're free to bring your kids.
Okay.
But the tickets on the first week, just to give you an example, October 7th tickets are $17 for adults on Saturday, $12 on Sunday. So we're talking about half price. They're free for your kids to go with you.
Bring the kids. Bring the kids.
You're talking about
Have
a whole
fun.
family of 5 under $35, $40.
That's actually really good.
Yeah. So
Renfest on a budget. Heck yeah.
It's happening this year. In opening week, I
like
think
it.
has some reduced pricing. So October 7th, that kicks off Renaissance Festival. Plenty of time before that. But November has a lot of other really cool events going on too. And one of them is the Knife Show.
What's the knife show?
Well, it's all the guys from the History Channel that do the Forged by Fire show.
Oh.
And these are blacksmiths, smithies, and people that make these weapons. And
wait to hear about it.
yeah, there's a lot of depth to that. That show's coming in November. It always a lot of fun.
Okay.
Right, so that's coming up. And you know what? I have a guy named Mike Thomas, one of the organizers and founders of that event. Right, and,
that's
and I
cool.
think we're going to ask him. So he's going to tell us all about what he does over there and what it does and when it comes back to our community. And it's a reoccurring event. It's one of the reasons we thought that was a real good catch for the show. And some of the guys from the History Channel bringing in that Forged by Fire stuff that really kind of pairs into our Renaissance theme during that same time
Perfect
period.
timing.
Yeah,
That's really
like
cool.
all
I can't
that.
wait to hear about it.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
then after that, we have a young man. He's a resident of Montgomery County, Garrison Nunn, and I'm going to let him kind of go over a little bit about how he works. And Garrison Nunn, he was born here in Montgomery County, in Montgomery,
Montgomery.
Not Montgomery County, Montgomery, Texas. And then he moved to Nashville to start his career. And Ed still comes back. If you look at his calendar of events, it's 3/4 Nashville, 25% Conroe, Montgomery, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool,
he'll come down every 2 or 3 months and come do the circuit down here, visit with all his friends, his family, I guess, and
50-50.
Yeah. So
it.
we see him wrapping up a tour of the Conroe Montgomery area now, and I think he's at Worcester's the other night, and some of the local places here in town. He'll go over his calendar. I hate to rattle off the other places because he's like, I didn't play there, it's like whatever. Yeah. But he's gonna play us some music. He's our musical guest today.
Okay, good.
And I'm told he's the heartthrob of all the young ladies. I mean, I think he looks like he's about 18. I mean, like, oh really? Like I wouldn't know.
Well, I can't wait to meet him. Also.
Yeah,
Okay,
he'll be here shortly. But let's get this show started. Let's
right.
bring in our guest, Mike Thomas, with the 6th annual knife show, the Texas Custom Knife Show here in Conroe, Texas. Welcome, Mike.
Howdy. Hello. First of all, thank you. Well, 2 thanks. Thank you for letting me be here. And most of all, thank you for not asking me to be the musical talent for the show today.
You can do that.
No, I can't. That's why we're all much happier that I'm not the one singing and playing.
I try.
Okay.
Privately.
No, thank you. This is exciting to be here. Appreciate it. So.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
man, I remember growing up, there was a place in the Woodlands called Geronimo Knife. Did you know these people?
I did not.
So there's a store called Geronimo Knife on Rayford Sawdust in the Woodlands, and he was. It seemed to me like he knew Geronimo. I mean, there was just the craziest styles of blades and things, and he really took a passion for it. And it was easy to see why he got into the business, of selling retail knives. He wasn't forging anything. He was just simply procuring oddities. But you bring on another dimension to the knife concept of the forge part, right?
This is a whole new level of exploring the industry and exploring knife making, because the whole industry and the bladesmithing and the knife making culture, if you will, it's an industry, it's a business, but there's a culture to it, because if you're in it, you have that passion for it, just like your friend at the Geronimo store. And it all has really, there's been a huge resurgence in this in the last 9, almost 10 years now. Forged in Fire on the History Channel is going into its 10th season, and that has just brought, people don't realize the show's been around almost 10 seasons now.
That's great.
And that has just really, pun intended, that's brought a lot of, it's fueled the fire of knife making again. It's made it popular again. It's made it fun
really
again.
neat, yeah. Absolutely.
And these knife shows have popped up all over the country. So ours is similar, but ours is uniquely different than any other show, and that's what we're always anxious to tell people about.
Right.
And you're bringing in a mix now. And excuse me, I'm learning and I'm trying to understand. So there's a competition as well as our winners from previous competitions arrive, and there's an inner competition amongst these knife forgers to challenge them even further and to bring things beyond this event to the table every event.
You're exactly right, Armando. So the show began 2018. This is the 6th year, like you said. It began really with just, there were a few guys around Houston and around South Texas who had been invited to and competed on the History Channel show. They'd competed on Forged and Fight. It's a reality show. It's a hit show. They went to the studios in New York. They competed, right? Just like, we see other reality shows. Everybody has their favorite, America's Got Talent. They all have these.
Yeah.
This one was a little bit modeled after Chopped. If you've seen, the Food Channel show, it's modeled a little bit like that. But all of a sudden, there were a group of guys from around here who had competed, and they either knew each other or were getting to know each other, and the thing was getting popular, and now all of a sudden they're on Facebook, and people are wanting to meet them, and people are wanting to buy their products. So they got smart and said, well, we should kind of get together and do something. And
Right.
I've never been in the knife making industry. I've never actually made, true confessions, I've never actually made my own knife. But I've been planning events for better part of 20, almost 30 years. So we crossed paths, we kind of combined skills and interests, and next thing you know, we put on a knife show. But to your point, we wanted ours to be different. And it has grown just like wildfire. Has become very, very popular, both around our area, but in the knife industry as well, because it's different than any other show. And a lot of it's because of those contests and competitions.
And the winners are coming back, you said, right?
So the show, again, was meant to be a tribute, and a gathering of the guys who've been on the show.
Okay.
Right. But again, if you go to these other shows around the country, you walk into the room or you walk into the hall where the show is at, and there's a table and another table and 90 or 100 tables all laid out in a row. It's just an ocean of tables with knives laid out. And these guys spend months in their home forges making these beautiful knives, crafting these beautiful blades. But that's the show. You just walk from table to table and you look at the knives. And you get to meet the guys, and they might tell you stories. If they were on the TV show, they might tell you stories.
Kind of like a knife craft show.
That's fun. Exactly. But when we started this, we're like, okay, we're going to be different. So we said, listen, if this is what you guys do, let's show people what you do.
Right.
And you're used to having some fun and competing again. And trust me, even though these guys, these knife makers are friendly with each other, they're competitive. They're competitive as heck with each other. In the right way, good sportsmanship, but they, they love the competition of it, the thrill of the competition. So we literally recreate the contest that's on the show. We get 4 guys to compete. We give them a pile of metal, and they've got 2 hours with live forges, grinders, and everything to turn it into a functioning blade.
Kind of like the mystery meat.
And we literally test.
Your mystery meat is the metal.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So here's your basket.
Here's your basket. Yeah, exactly. So
I imagine it's all steel. What you're using? Pure grade steel. What
standard types of steel this year? I mean, and every year we kind of have to up our game, right? Because we make the contest a little more interesting.
Better, right.
So if you know if you know knives, you've seen pictures. The ones that have the pretty pattern in the blade to them, they call that Damascus. Okay, so those are actually layers upon layers upon layers of steel stacked on top of each other that get melted, pressed, heated, and ground down and shaped into a blade. So those are layers of steel. So it's a beautiful art. It's a lot of work. These guys are making their knives right now. I was with my partner here in Conroe. He runs Brave Hawk Forge, Jacob. I was working with him getting ready for this contest in his forge a week ago Sunday. That forge is 1,000 degrees. I'm not exaggerating. It's 1,000 degrees. And it's a little warm outside right now. If you haven't noticed a little bit, it's a little warm out there. So these guys are out there in their forges, just sweating their socks off.
Sweaty off. Yeah.
That's how dedicated these guys are to this craft. It's unbelievable. And they bring that finished product. But we do the contest. So the first few years, right, we would get sponsors or someone else, maybe local. We even had like some local radio personalities do some judging, guys who may not have known a lot about knife making, but we were having it fun and we were getting local people involved. But this show has grown so quickly and so much. We now have not 1, but 2 actual judges from the History Channel TV show, from Forged in Fire. This is the only show. There's 40 or 50 of these shows around the country, guys. This is the only show in the United States that has 2 Forged in Fire judges coming to attend, and they will be judging the blades that these guys make. Literally the same way they do it on the show. They're doing it here.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It is. It's real. It's fun.
But the winners are bringing their old blades in, right? The winning blades from past.
So this is the other cool thing that we're doing this year. We've added this. I told you every year we kind of do something different to give reason to people to keep coming back and seeing something different. So here's something that a lot of people don't know about the TV show. So like all of these reality shows, you start out with a handful of contestants, right? In this case, 4.
Yes.
And then one gets eliminated. And then another one gets eliminated. So then you've got 2 semifinalists. Well, what they do on Forged in Fire is they send them home. And they have 2 days to work in their forge. And they say, now you have to make a specific a very large weapon, a very large blade, a Roman gladiator sword, or a Japanese type of. I mean, they give them something very specific, and the two finalists have to make the exact same thing with the exact same kind of steel.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
they fly those back to the studio, and then that's when Doug Markida and Jay Nielsen and Doug Baker. That's when the judges judge those, and so from those two, then you have one winner who walks away with a really big check.
Yeah.
But now here's what people don't know about the show. If you're the winner, you get the check. You forfeit the sword that you made, the winning weapon. I say sword, it's not always a sword. That's not true. The winning weapon, the winning blade, the History Channel keeps that. So somewhere there's a warehouse. They have their own little museum full of all of these winning blades over 9-10 seasons. But if you were the semifinalists and you came in second place, you get to keep yours.
Oh.
You get to take it back home. So, for example, my partner, Jacob, with Brave Hawk Forge, he was a semifinalist. He didn't win. We don't know why he didn't win. It was very, 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 he'll tell you, it was extremely close and competitive, but he didn't win. So he got to keep his, I want to say it's like, and I think I'm even shortening it. I want to say 28 inches. I think it's even longer than that. It's a giant Japanese Nagasaki sword. It's beautiful, heavy, and it's beautiful. But he got to keep, so there's a handful of guys that come to our show that have their weapon because they were semifinalists. So I say all that to say we're going to have the first ever Forged in Fire Parade of Blades.
Oh my God.
That's what I think is going to be super
really
cool.
cool.
Parade of Blades. These are these guys. It's like a museum.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the second day of the show, Sunday afternoon, we're going to let them bring them all up on stage, do like a show and tell, but tell the behind the scenes, tell the story behind what was great, maybe why they didn't win, right? There's some teasing, there's some fun, there's some tears maybe, I don't know.
I do like the part where we incorporate fashion into, passion into things.
Right.
Well, look at me. There's not a lot of fashion going on
Not
involved here.
Passion. So the
Definitely.
the passion of what we in what your parade you're speaking of is just entirely these guys passionate about winning. They've gone into another level, not for this. This was secondary. This was ancillary compared to the original motivation to put that blade together, which was passion.
Right.
And it was a true passion for a win. I went for the gold. I mean, whether it was spirited by monetary means or personal or whatever, there's some serious passion when that blade's being forged. And I mean, the guy's trying to win. He's not just making a blade. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that parade of stuff makes for such a better show. I think that stuff is the stuff that, can't be duplicated. A bunch of tables, we can duplicate that.
Yeah, no,
there could be 80
exciting,
shows
though.
next year in the United States.
Yep.
But as far as that passion blade display, that what you're talking about is next level. I mean, I like the whole museum term, Smithsonian, whatever, but not privy to them, only privy to us, and only privy to this event. I mean, it might be better forged than days gone past. We have gotten better at a lot of things regarding forging and advancements in the industry and how these guys get their heat, how they can turn it on and off. You know what I mean? How they can bring the heat, turn it down, bring it again. These things weren't possible back in the Middle Ages. So it's a nice dimension to have some ways to parade and maybe a finer weapon that might have ever been crafted. I mean, it's a strong possibility.
Cool. It sounds like a really, really neat.
But the
event
purity of
for
the
one
metal,
thing.
definitely we're next level now than ever was.
It's an art.
The
It's an
heat control, we're at next level. Well, I want to say better than ever was, but I can't be certain about
Well,
that.
and these guys will do a lot of unique things as well. And remember, a lot of these guys that are coming to the show are Texans, right? I mean, so they're born and bred. So they have a love for the state, just like a lot of us do. They have a love for this craft, but they also are great citizens as well. So I say this, there are a lot of these guys and the folks from the organization will be coming as well. We've got the bladesmithing community in South Texas has a partnership with the USS Texas battleship that's being renovated.
Oh yeah.
So those steel parts and all that's being pulled off of there, a lot of those metal and steel pieces that are being pulled off of the ship
recycled.
are being recycled and what's the word? Repurposed into some of these
cool.
blades.
Right.
So folks from the battleship are actually going to be in attendance at the show. You'll see blades that were used. One of the guys, in fact, he won the contest last year, Don Halter.
At
Our show. He won our contest
and do you keep
last
the
year.
blade in that case?
So let me answer that question. That's a
Okay.
great question, and the answer is even better, and I'll come back to that in just a second. Because that's an important part of what we want to talk about.
Good.
So thank you. It was a great segue. You didn't even know it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
See, he's going somewhere.
But no, right after Hurricane Harvey, he actually got some scrap wood and metal, all of that from kind of that salvage from Harvey, and used that for some handles because the handles are made from wood. And so there were a lot of, he used some of that souvenir product and then used that for auctions and things like that. Speaking of auctions, let me answer your question now. So one thing we've always done from the very beginning with this show is had a charitable part to it to where we can give back to our community. The first couple of years, we work with some great local organizations, but this is going on year 3. Spike, if you're listening, you can call and correct me. I think this is the 3rd year that we have worked with the Operation Red Wings Foundation.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, people used to know them as Lone Survivor. They are now Operation Red Wings, right? So wonderful mission, wonderful organization that helps our active and retired military with what they call the invisible enemy. We're talking about PTSD and those types of struggles. So beautiful people, wonderful organization, and they're a big part of our show as well.
Yeah.
So
That's phenomenal.
so what we do now, so we have a huge live auction to benefit them. 100% of those proceeds
cool.
go to them. So what we do is, so all 4 of the blades from the contest now get framed. We do a quick photo, print, autograph. They get framed up into a shadow box. So it's a real nice presentation, and then we auction those off, and that goes to Operation Red Wings. So.
That's outstanding.
Wow.
And any idea what they do at that point with or did they just sell and keep the proceeds for?
Well, it goes to the winning bidder right there on the spot.
They
so
get the knife.
yeah, so you may be the winning bidder this year,
Okay.
right? Or Gina may win one. So,
right.
but not only do we have the bladesmith autograph it, but now because this will be the 2nd year that Doug Marcaida has come, the popular judge from the show, he gets an autograph in there. I mean, there's a lot going on.
So you mentioned you're the only ones with 2, or the only one with 2, and it's Doug Marcaida. And who is the other gentleman?
Jay Nielsen. So he's out of
Jay
Pennsylvania,
Nielsen,
but he's kind of setting up shop here in North Texas. So he's trying to become a Texan. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Some ways he can call me.
He's getting here as fast as he
He
can.
call me. We'll give him the instructional.
But these guys go around the world to these shows. Jay is actually getting ready to get on a flight next week for the Sydney, Australia Blade Show. So these guys are well-versed, well-traveled. They're that popular.
That's a knife.
Yeah, that's annoying.
You gotta get into there. Well, man, I am looking forward to it. It's November 4th. Tell our audience where they can go to get their tickets, get their VIP, get set up, and get ready for the knife show. Enthusiasts can go if they can
It's a
participate.
2-day, right? It's a 2-day.
So
event.
last year we expanded it to 2 days. So we have the contest that we already talked about on Saturday. Then a lot of people who know the show and know the industry know Blade Sports. Blade Sports is like a sporting event. It's like an obstacle course, but with blades, very safely done, right?
Wow.
But it's a timed event. It's another contest. And so Blade Sports is a national organization. They'll be here on Sunday. Their event is on Sunday.
Well, that's and then they tick, 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 and then it's over, right? It's just like
They
quick.
chop a rope, then you move to the next station and chop a
Yeah,
2x4,
it's like,
and then
I see
and then the water bottle stack. So I mean, it's a lot of neat stuff. So there is we expanded it to a 2-day event last year. We're already out of space and time. We need to do like 3 days for it. There's so much going on.
And
within
you're at
the
the
event.
Lone Star Convention Center, correct?
Not in the convention center. We're at the pavilion.
Okay.
Over by the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Right. So we're covered. It's weather friendly. We got some pretty bad weather last year, so we moved it back to the pavilion. We're covered, but so it's still outdoors but indoors kind of a thing.
Right.
All of the tickets are for sale on our website, TexasCustomKnifeShow.com.
TexasCustomKnifeShow.com.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's another little story I want to make sure I get in before we wrap up. I want to tell you about that. This is really interesting. But I do want to mention this because I will forget this because we're having so much fun talking. Is it okay if I got to put in a plug for our sponsors? Because the community has always supported us, but never like this year. It's been amazing. The city of Conroe itself and the Convention and Visitors Bureau helps us. They like bringing people into Conroe. That's what they do. Yeah. Sure. That's what we do. Yeah. So they've really supported us. But Wisniewski Dodge and Jeep out of Huntsville is actually supporting us this year. Southern Quality Construction, Linex, the truck bed liners, Linex, new sponsor this year right here in Conroe.
Hispanic fellow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Good folk. Yep.
Yeah, I know that guy. Good guy.
Yeah, exactly. Best Option Restoration, so a water restoration company.
Yes, I know.
Hopefully no hurricanes this year, but if we do, call Best Option.
Right.
And everybody knows Gullo Ford and McKenzie Barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So look at that list. Look at that list.
That's a great variety.
Wonderful support
awesome.
in this community. But
that's awesome.
So like I mentioned, these shows have popped up everywhere, right? And so you have the Blade West show in Portland. Well, in the industry of knives, which is a $1 billion industry, that's known as the Portland show. You have the Tennessee Custom Knife Show, which is in Nashville. They just call it the Nashville show. The biggest show of all, which is literally like the Super Bowl, right? It is called Blade Show. It's been around about 30 years now. It's called Blade Show, but it's in Atlanta, so they call it the Atlanta show. So when we started this thing 6 years ago,
You're the Texas show.
well, we called it the Texas. You're on the right track.
Yeah.
We called it the Texas Custom Knife Show, right? I live in Montgomery County. Jacob's right here in Conroe. We love Conroe. So it's always been and always will be right here in Conroe. But around the country, from the top to everybody in this industry, now knows this show as the Conroe Show. Oh. It's known as the Conroe Show.
I like when they say Conroe.
Yeah.
So without, we just wanted to do a fun little show right here in our backyard and get these guys together. It now literally has put Conroe on the map at a national level.
Nice.
Well, awesome. Wow. Well, hallelujah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Check us out again and at TexasCustomKnifeShow.com.
Thanks, Mike.
And this is Mike Thomas
You
with
really,
the 6th
really
annual,
talked about,
November 4th and 5th. You can catch them right here at the Lone Star Fairgrounds.
Will you be there?
Oh, definitely. Will you?
Yes, I want to go. Let's go check it out. Definitely.
We're going to check it out.
Good.
Guys, we'll be back right after this.
So won't you kick your feet up if you have a minute? Turn your radio.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket. Welcome back to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando.
And Gina.
Magali Rodriguez.
Thank you. That's right.
Gotta say it like that. You know?
Gina Magali Rodriguez.
I just want to make Magali Rodriguez into Magali.
No, it's just Gina Magali Rodriguez.
No.
Yes.
That's not going to work. Oh, my golly.
All right, so what do we have today?
Garrison
I'm super excited.
Nunn with us from Nashville, or should I say hails from Houston, lives in Nashville, or Conroe.
The 50-50 guy. Right?
Yeah.
That's about right.
I love that.
Well, welcome back home, you know.
It's good to be back.
And I think there's a lot of folks with a lot of interest in your career and, you know, the going from Montgomery, April Sound, right? Well, hails from my alma mater there, and but you know, Nashville's the home for country music artists and music artists. So many studios, so many cool places to record, and I guess that's the attraction. Or was it family, or was it other stuff?
So back in 2020, literally right before COVID, I had the opportunity to go on a writer's retreat trip sort of thing. So I went out to Nashville there, you know, pulled a few strings to get off of school early, and I went and I loved it. And someone on the writer's trip was touring a school called Belmont that's over there, and it's about time that I was looking at colleges to go to, and I chose Belmont, and next thing you know, I'm in Nashville and, playing music. And
Wow.
yeah, but I only did my first 2 years at Belmont, so now I'm going to their pharmacy school for the next 4. So I'm, kind of trying to balance that music and school at the same time. But yeah, Nashville, the best place to do that because you can get the best of everything.
That's outstanding.
Awesome.
And you've had I think, what was it? Let me get my notes here. On July 17th, you had a new song get released.
Yes. Just around then, I had a new song called Whiskey to My Heart come out. It's the second single. I did that out in Nashville with a lot of different people. I mean, usually, like on my first song, I did just one producer who did everything. And I just wanted to change things up for my second one. So I went with, a different producer, got all the instruments from another studio, like outsourced it and wrote it with 2 guys. And it was just a different process. And I like the fact that I was able to switch it up for that one.
A lot of collaboration for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
good.
what Nashville's all about nowadays. It's all collaboration.
That's really cool. Do you have
That is
family
neat.
still here in Montgomery County?
Oh, everybody's here. Everybody's here. That's
Everybody,
why I love
okay.
coming back. I mean, including my friends.
I didn't know if you were doing this for us, but I've seen you come back like every 2 or 3 months. You come back and then you run a full circuit. Do you like book those ahead of time, knowing, hey,
Oh, absolutely.
that's when I'm coming home?
Yeah. So I usually know. I mean, of course, it has to do with holidays. But
Yeah.
then I also knew I wanted to spend some of my summer in Nashville, some of it here. So I just kind of
Divide.
I planned it out, and
just divide
it got to be pretty equal. So I just made sure I had shows in Nashville, made sure I had shows here. But it gets tough booking for yourself.
Dan,
It's
what
a-
about Christmas holidays? Do you see yourself? Is there a routine for Christmas?
Not necessarily. I don't even have Christmas shows planned, if that's what you're asking.
Well, what I'm
way
curious
behind.
about is like if it's August now and you come every 2 to 3 months, August, September, October, you'll be back again. So when can we start booking you locally again for us to hear you again? Because I know Saturday night's probably your last one local, and then you're
Right.
back to Nashville
Yeah,
again, right?
Saturday night I play till like 11, and then I got to wake up at like 6 a.m. and drive to Nashville.
See, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but-
And so I assume the holidays come see some family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see me around Thanksgiving
Okay.
time. That's a shorter break. I'll probably get like a week. But Christmas, I'll probably have the better half of the whole month
Nice.
running into January.
Good. So there's some
is
love
your-
and passion
yeah,
driving him back
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
home. The family's
I like
here.
that.
You gotta
I
go
like
see
that.
the
You're a
family.
family
Back.
guy. I
Good.
like that.
If I didn't come back, I'd be a lost soul. Like,
Well, we
Aw.
hope you're learning a lot out there and bringing it back to spice up our lives. I mean, we're just recipients on the side when it comes to entertainment at places we go and things we do. And I wonder who that guy is. And then we don't know that we're getting that flavor. But you can hear it eventually. Maybe we can hear a little something. What you got?
yeah, absolutely. I can play something.
Throw a little something at us.
All right, here we
because
go.
you could put it in. It's in the air. I mean, some people are interrupting your dinner, and some people are making your dinner, stealing your show.
Hey, trust
I
me,
thought
with
the
my
steak was good.
family, I'm very used to just having to whip out the guitar at any given moment.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
So this one is this was my first single. It's called I
Okay.
Should Have Known. Released it back in April, and it's kind of about regretting the way that you treated somebody so much that you wish you never met. This is probably my favorite song I've written at this point. So yeah, it goes something like this. Find myself in a local bar, sinking bottles, strumming my guitar, lost in the eyes of a girl I'll never know. And you want what you can't, and you have what you don't want. I love you never meant more. 2 o'clock bars close, night crawls, rinse and repeat again. I'm a victim of the words you said back then. Wish I'd done a thing or two different. It's too late now to change a damn thing. The love she gave, it was warm, and now I miss her in the morning. And I'm drinking my way through to peace of mind. I should have known to leave her love behind. There you go.
And that's your first song.
That was my first song. Yeah.
And you wrote
Beautiful.
that all the way through and everything.
Yeah, I wrote it in my bedroom here in Texas. It actually started as a completely different song, and things just fall into place. Songwriting is kind of like a puzzle, so
Yeah.
it's like you have all these moving parts,
Yes.
and at some point they just all kind of clashed together.
That's an
That was that
awesome
one.
way
It
of
was
putting
so
it,
weird
yeah.
because like the chorus of that was like the verse of another song and like slowed down and different. It's kind of cool to go through like
I think it's
how
The
a song
making
is.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the making of it.
I think songwriting is fun to
It's-
me.
oh my gosh,
It's sort of, I can't see myself as a poem writer or poetry. I don't really see
it's
that.
beautiful. Talk about
That's sort of
expression.
17th century, you know,
It's cool.
for men
Yeah.
to do. Back then, it was more common, you know, 18th century, 19th century, 18th, maybe a lot more poetry, a lot more
But it still
male
exists
writers
today,
to this
But
effect.
in
that,
songs, it exists today.
yeah,
It's not, you know,
I
the
think
whole
that's the
sonnet
same
or whatnot,
artistic
right.
outlet that was expressed maybe a bit differently.
Yes.
Yeah, some artists are
Good
very
point.
poetic.
That's like really cool.
It
Yeah.
seems like it, you know, and that's a
Absolutely.
Texan
That's
perspective.
Today. That is today's world.
There's probably
So
some guy in Europe
impressive.
going, that's
Beautiful
crazy. Doc."
voice. Beautiful
appreciate it.
voice.
Appreciate it.
Love that. Yeah. So happy for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And you played the Moonshine Deck on July 27th,
did.
Texas Vintage Bar and Grill here in downtown Conroe.
Yes, so those are both two new venues for me because usually I
Yeah.
cycle through the same ones, you know, whenever I come back. But
And Whisters.
Whisters, yes, so
That's,
that's
a new
regular.
venue too.
That's
though.
new, but you know, I've been playing that since it opened, and I love
Yeah,
going
that's
back.
right. There, you might have had a couple of terms every 2 months or so, give or
Yes.
take. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
trying to
I
hold
try
you
to
to
I try to
that.
come back and go back to Whisters. But yeah, Moonshine Deck, awesome place in
That's
Magnolia.
really interesting.
Yes,
That
it's
one's
fun.
new. That's
It's
that's
fun.
like not only is that my first time playing there, but it's a new place. And
Yeah.
I recommend to really
That
to go
whole
there.
kid area and thing, and then you
We
get that.
went.
Yeah, we
We
went.
were
We've been
there.
over
Oh,
there
yeah?
a few
Yeah,
times.
it's
Yeah.
cool. And Texas Vintage just down the road it's really cool.
And that's
playing
Did you
there.
play upstairs or downstairs there?
I played downstairs, but
Downstairs.
my sound is everywhere. So like they have a way of
Man, I wish I'd have
Sending it.
known a little more about that one. It's close to home. We could have maybe popped in there.
Totally,
I'm
yeah,
so late
totally.
getting to it. But it's nice to be able to share that with everyone. And Saturday, you'll be playing at Monty's Lighthouse, right?
I will.
Okay. And that's exciting. That's from 8 to 11 p.m. You can catch him live at Monty's Lighthouse. And you can see him at, what was the website? GarrisonNunnmusic.com.
There you go.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I try to keep that updated.
And your Instagram is at Garrison Nunn, and Facebook is Garrison Nunn Music.
There you go.
There it is.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
All right.
I guess so. Did you attend Montgomery ISD at all? I mean, did
I
you
did.
go to
So,
school in that run?
I grew up in the Montgomery ISD system. You know,
Oh, you
I
did?
Went to
Okay.
Montgomery High School, like we
Hey!
did for just freshman year,
Okay.
and then they split it in half, and they said I got to go to Lake Creek. So you know, I booked
Oh.
it over there, but it was great. It was I loved being a part of a new high school. That was cool.
Yeah. So you're a bear and a lion.
I am. I'm a little bit of everything. It's funny because my mascot at Belmont is a
I was
Bruin,
about to
which
say,
is a bear, right?
What's a Bruin? What's a Belmont? So it's a bear?
It is, yeah.
I didn't
it's
know
like-
that. I didn't know a Bruin was a bear.
This is
You
kind
know
of
that?
weird, but
I
I'm
didn't know
almost
that.
positive it's a pregnant bear.
It looks like a
Oh.
pregnant
think.
bear, a Bruin.
Someone can prove me wrong out there, but I'm almost
Like
positive.
a Bruhana. A Bruhana. You gotta give it, add something to it to
exactly.
make it female pregnant.
Maybe.
That's
You know?
I'll have to think on it. You
Yeah.
know.
Oh.
Bruhana, no.
no.
I shouldn't do this on the radio.
Cut him off.
Cut 'em off, cut 'em off.
But okay. So I'm gonna just while we have you here, make sure I've done the rest of some of these events I want to mention that are coming to the area.
Yeah.
So, rock and roll fan,
Absolutely.
jazz.
I've been to jazz. I need to get more into jazz, but I've been to like jazz clubs in Nashville. There's some awesome ones.
Fun. You
It's
enjoy
fun.
it.
Oh, it's great.
It's not irritating you in the background like
No.
opera or
No, I'm the
opera?
guy.
Or do you do any opera?
Haven't been to an opera show, but whenever I'm doing my vocal warm ups, it's pretty close.
I've seen a lot of people move from
wow.
opera to jazz and jazz to opera and opera to rock.
Really?
I can see
There-
the opera
it-
rock movie.
there's some
'Cause there's a whole-
transitions
there's
in
a whole
here.
genre for opera rock. That's a thing.
It is a thing.
Rock
It-
opera.
it's very surprising of a thing, and to me, it's shocking. But I mean, imagine as introduced,
neat.
it's been
Yeah.
introduced so many times. I'm like, it's less shocking, but
Yeah.
still, it seems so odd in contrast. You know, it's like, I guess you're still musically inclined. You're working your voice to whatever
Yeah.
capacity. At least I'm in control. You know, I can do things because I can control the inflection of my voice.
Sure, yeah, that kind of leads me into my one of my favorite bands to play live. I'm a country artist, obviously, but one of my favorite songs to play live is by a band called Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah,
they're
like
one of
Led
my
Zeppelin.
all-time
They
favorites.
sound just like Led
Totally.
Zeppelin.
They're fantastic, and they're branching away from that even. Like their
Are they?
their new stuff is more like
You
experimental.
can't get as hippie as their lead singer, though. I mean, he's out there. That guy takes it to another
wow.
level. He gets wild, doesn't he?
I saw them
mean,
in Houston like 2 weeks ago. They were
were they in
really,
Houston
really
2 weeks?
good.
He
They were.
gets wild. I mean, the guy's like, but he sings and as unexpected as his costume. You
Oh,
know
it's
what I
crazy.
mean? His
It's
voice
like,
is
when you
so
sing like that, you have to be out there.
right.
Right.
I mean, his voice is enough to like, wow, what? What?
Oh my God.
What? Wow. Is that coming out of that man?
Yeah, it's
you know what I
incredible.
mean? It's definitely. What is he wearing? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's the first thing. The first time I heard of Greta Van Fleet was this such a powerful,
Oh, it's that confident form of expression.
It is, yeah.
That inner art, and you just want to, it's
just
great.
wanna
I'm sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off. That touched
that's
me.
pretty cool.
So what about Greta Van Fleet?
I include their songs in my set list.
Do
and
you
people
really?
Love it. It's
Yeah.
crazy because
I
like
bet.
I'll play either whether it's with my band or just acoustic. I'll throw it in there, and it's like one of their favorite songs I do.
Which song?
So I do Safari Song and
Yeah.
Flower Power. Those are
No
my two
way.
big ones.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny because his voice is so high,
It
and
is
whenever
super
I
high.
sing it, it's I the opposite. But I think it gives it a cool contrast. It's
He does I don't even think he doesn't do a Led Zeppelin cover. He writes his own songs that his band does or whatever
Yeah.
that sound exactly like a modern day Led Zeppelin.
I think they're
Really?
doing the right thing. I think they're
Breaking off from that a bit, and doing some
yeah
new things. And
yeah they needed to do that. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, you can only take it so far. You're gonna run. Black Dog can only carry you for halfway.
Yeah, exactly.
But damn, he nailed it. That was on point. I mean,
Yeah, for
he
sure.
sounded like Robert Plant. I mean,
Yeah.
like wow.
And there's some Rush influence in there too, and all that.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking. I'd love to hear one of those songs. Can you
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
play
go
one of
for it.
those guys? And I know that one on the books, or I
Hey, it's
I
all
told
good.
you I wouldn't. That first
Catch
thing
you
I
off
do is
guard.
make a request.
Let's do this is a song called Flower Power. She is a lady, comes from all around. She's in many places, but she's homeward bound. Now she walks kinda funny, I think she knows. Day by day, our love grows. She's a lantern in the night, she's out of sight. My, 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 my. My, 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 my. Hey, turn the night, firelight, star shines in her eyes. Makes me feel like I'm alive. She's out of sight, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's alright, she's alright, she's alright. She's out of sight, out of sight.
That's nice.
Wow, that is
It's cool.
beautiful.
He's so good at
Yeah,
this.
yeah, love it.
And it's crazy you throw up a name from the past that I don't really like them. I was just shocked, I think, the first time I heard them. But, after that, it was like that shock's kind of stuck in there until I just, like you said, I think they needed to, take to the next page.
Yep.
But tell us a little bit more about the career in Nashville and what happens on a day-to-day working in there. I mean, everybody, when I meet musicians that have like just gone there to record and come back, it's all about that studio and that one moment, right?
Right, yeah.
And that so-and-so recorded there, so-and-so recorded there. And that's like
Dropping the names, right?
Yes.
And so it's always nice to hear about, what about all the rest of this stuff? I mean, when you go, is it just like you got 3 hours, go? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or how
so
does it
studio
work?
time, you can go one of two ways. You can do it where, you pay based on how long you're in there, or you just give a flat rate and, you pay this much, and that's like
For the
how
song.
much you're paying. Yeah, for the song. And usually that's a little bit more expensive It just depends. But I actually did one of each. So for my first song, I did it in studio time, which it can feel like you're on a timer, right? And there may not be as much creative expression. You're just trying to get as much done as you can, while you've got the time. And there's people can do it that way, and that's a fine way to do it. But especially for my first single, I didn't know what I was doing. It's my first time in the studio, right?
Yeah.
So it was definitely a little bit more stressful that way. But for my second single, it was the flat rate, where we were really able to hammer through like every bit of the song. And it's like, if this part was too loud, I could say, fix it. And there were probably like 20 different versions of Whiskey to My Heart floating around while we were making it in the studio, because we went and did everything, and then I came back to Texas, so he's sending me versions, and I'm like, okay, fix this. And then he's in Nashville and sends me it, and I even had to go to a studio in Texas and redo some vocals and send it to him.
Really?
It was a whole process, yeah, but it was fun.
Wow.
It made it where anything could happen, right? It was pretty cool that way.
And then, in your end result, do you get your live sets to try to match the final product? Or
I try to, and sadly I don't get to play as many live band shows with my personal music, because Nashville's all about covers right now, at least. I play on Broadway in Nashville at like bars like Tootsie's, Rippy's. Played at Kid Rock's once, and that's just covers, because you're bringing the money in, and people want to hear what they want to hear. They don't really care to hear originals when they're drinking and having a good time. That's just how it is. But there's like a few places in Nashville that do give you the opportunity to play like your originals like with your band, and I do appreciate that. I wish there's more of it, but you can't always get what you want. But I try to take advantage of the times that I can do that.
Man, I think that the original is the guy with the brush in his hand. You know what I mean? He's the artist. Maybe he's painting the same mountain with trees and a little lake out front. Just like Bob Ross did, like 50 years in Syndicate. But it's not his. You know what I mean? I do see that when you bring up a new song, I mean there is some respects to the artist and the writing, the writer, and I think that should always remain. But the voice, it's like changing the color of paint. I mean, it's still a mountain, and I don't know. And I get both arguments there, and both ownership, and I understand that, and it's just, in a perfect world, though, the one I'd like to.
Hey, some of the biggest songs are covers. I will say that. You got to give respect where it's due. But
if you were told, hey, this is the Chopped, and you had one cover you could play with the other artists, and you get one cover, which cover would you pick?
Either a Greta Van Fleet, or I'd probably do. I mean, one of my favorites to play nowadays is "Something in the Orange" by Zach Bryan. That's such a great song.
Yeah, okay.
And everybody's starting to know it, and it still feels new, and people still sing along. So it's kind of cool because it just blew up.
Yeah,
so that one's fun.
And it was Tennessee Whiskey, I think, before that, and then there was a few others that everybody out here was covering. And
Fast Car's a big one now.
Oh, the old song.
Yes. Now done by Luke Combs, but Tracy Chapman was the original,
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan back then. Do you like that song? Were you a fan of it?
Yes,
It seems so sad to me. It sounds so sad.
It is. It's such a story.
Wow.
It is.
You have
That's
to be in the
what it
mood
is.
for
Yes.
it. You have to be in the mood for it.
I agree with that. No.
I don't know. I think everybody's like, some people dress really colorful, and all the time, that's just their style. If you were to wear a black shirt, they'd be like, "Oh, you look like somebody died." You gotta wear more greens and yellows. It's like, wait, what? No, wow. What, I live in Galveston or in Miami. I mean, what? No, But I get the contrast. I understand the colorful, and I understand the sleek. I get that, and the same thing in some of that music contrast that comes on with that can be put on to the right cover. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I can add my Miami to that song. Watch it go from country to pop, and or vice versa. Take the pop to the country. The Tracy Chapman that's gone a little country, or the where you take a song a new way in a new direction, almost entirely. And it's a different song almost. I mean, I get it. The art with respects to a writer, I think is where I would put it. And to some effect, right? But what about copyrights and things like that, with like Disney bringing 75 years or 20 years after the death of the artist? So when would some people outside your estate be able to use your music? So
you mean like public domain?
Yeah. What is that?
I think
75.
I think it is 75, because I was looking into it because
or 20 years after the death of the artist.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know if it has to do with death. I want to say it's release.
75 from release.
I think. 'Cause I was looking into it because, as a musician, you're terrified of those kind of things.
Yeah,
Right.
and but I'm playing. You're playing your own version, and we
Yeah,
want to
that's
hear it. Where it seems, but I guess for different purposes. I don't know all the legalities there, but
I'll go with 75.
Yeah, I think it's 70.
I think that's long enough.
I think it's
right?
75 years or 20 years after the death, which would put
Or research it again.
which would put the music that we could get in public domain today, 1910? No, 1928 or something like
Just
that.
about around there.
So
yeah.
we're in the era of, if you look to see the lifespan of the artist inside 75 years from today, you would be looking at all the World War II deaths, by concentration camp. And so on the list, because if you are looking for their death, you have to find out. It shows you when they died, how they died. So when you're tracking the music down to the 75 years and looking to see where those dates begin and end, it's so weird. And I'm thinking, do we really need to go this far back? My gosh, and I'm looking and I'm thinking,
this is serious though. There's always all about rules.
well,
and
I mean, when you look at
regulations
the people who we're looking at, and they're 80%
Mm-hmm.
past, and 60% inside the 20 years, and that music is mostly orchestra, or they're big groups. There's no individual singers. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's no standalone musicians.
It's going to be weird in 75 to 100 years whenever all the music we know is public domain.
Yeah.
What's going to happen then?
But you're an individual, so meaning you're not part of this orchestra. Because if you go back, almost all the music was big group, big band, big this, big that,
Exactly.
based. So when you're looking at this copyright, well, is it the lead of the band or is it everyone in the band?
Oh, yeah.
So you're
Yes.
concerned. So you go back another 20 years to public domain just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strange place, strange things. Yeah. And I'll tell you,
That's
I
pretty
weird to think
in-depth.
about.
I
But what
know,
we
it's
have
in-depth.
added is a great chapter for that era. So when they open our book, they won't have near what I got looking at me. I promise the future is brighter already because we're building it and we're doing it. You're doing it with the music
Yes.
you're putting into the system right now.
That's it.
Even your covers, even some of those things. But we're ready for a great weekend. We're going out to the wake surf competition tomorrow out at Margaritaville. That's going to be happening out
That's
there.
gonna be lots of fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to run through these really quick and we're going to wrap up. So the Come and Take It Classic, 11th and 12th at Margaritaville. That's happening. The August 12th, that same morning at Bushels and Blooms, right next door to Vernon's Country Catfish, is that market, that open farmers market thing.
Right.
But love it. That's a new thing for me. I'm gonna go all those. I found out who's gonna be there and all the food that they got there and what's coming up, and that Vernon's Country Catfish is walking
right
distance.
there. Right there.
Yeah.
Get some fried fish.
Wasn't supposed to bring that part up, but yeah, I can just walk next door to go eat and come back. Also Casino Royale, 825 at Margaritaville, and that's brought to us by Texas Boats and Outdoors, and you can see it at texasboatsandoutdoors.com/events.
For all the boat lovers. out
Luxury luck. Well, this is a casino night. It's a benefit. They're raising money, and but it's brought on by one of Houston's best casino groups. Those people that
Bringing
come out. They bring all the tables and
extra
stuff, and
cash.
everybody comes and parties. Yeah. That's a good way to donate. Have some fun. Come on out.
Yes,
Margaritaville.
yes,
It's
of
classy.
course,
It's
of
done.
course,
It's called
yes.
Luxury and Luck because it's done really nice. People are
Right.
dressing up for it. Looks good. Go check that out. Tickets are on sale now. Supporting Operation Get Out.
Oh.
Bringing parents and the kids out to play. Get them out and about. They bring people. It's a nonprofit.
That'd be good for the kids.
The Kimbrough Open Mic Music Jam. This might be interesting to you when you come. They're just starting this out over at the table at Madeley. Every Sunday, musicians visit and jam and get to know one another.
Wow.
And last week there was Caleb Holscher, Jeff Canada. The list went on and on.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
the Kimbroughs. There's a lot of local musicians that went out just to hang out. It was the first one though. I'm just hoping that spirit keeps going.
It will.
You know what I mean?
It
Because
will.
if they do what they did the first one, it's like, man, everybody's going to be
It
going there.
will.
It's just a jam. You know,
Conroe's on a good track.
every-
exactly.
Music, they've
Oh, yeah.
they've made a name for themselves, I think.
Right.
Coffee and Classic, September 2nd at a Hunger Crush Cafe and a Bar's Auto sponsored event and a Charlie Diggs promoted event. That happened last weekend. We went to that the weekend before, and it was awesome. It was so cool. It was just
It's always fun.
it was
Hang
casual
out.
because
I love
everybody's
it.
half awake, drinking coffee, and there's awesome cars and lift kits, and I'm like, this is great. And all the guys are like, how's it going? How's it going?
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, this is perfect. You know, love this. You know, I come to all these. You know, no pressure, no nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of waking up. So no one's got any teeth in them yet. It's
Coffee with a splash of whiskey.
yeah. How you doing? How you
Now
doing?
you know.
Yeah, it's
You know.
nice, isn't it? Yeah, lots of that. The family reunion tour. Wiz Khalifa, Too
Oh.
Short.
Oh.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh my
Cynthia
gosh.
Mitchell Woodlands Pavilion. The reunion tour 2023 is August 19th. August 19th at the Cynthia
cow.
Mitchell. Three Palms Action Sports Park, right? now, I know this is odd, but they've got, the old Tennessee River Band, right? Tennessee River Boys. Well, AKA Diamond Rio.
Oh, here we go. Here
will
we
be
go.
at the Three Palms. And they'll be at that Three Palms park, and that is happening.
Look at
bring
your
it up,
notes. Look at your notes.
September 30th.
And we can't forget our Biz and Booze with One Property Group,
There you
our
go. Tell us about that really
brokerage.
quick.
Yes. So Thursday, every third Thursday of the month, we have, you could call it a networking event.
Margaritaville.
As in Margaritaville, there's almost every event is at Margaritaville. But we love
Nowadays,
it.
yeah.
We're looking forward to that, and we're excited. So 5 to 7.
Sam
August
Hunt
17th.
is at Cynthia Mitchell Woodlands Pavilion August 18th, 7 to 10, 7 to 12. No, that's Friday. You should check that one. The Cynthia Mitchell Woodlands Pavilion. He's got a couple, Brett Young and Lily Rose opening for him.
Okay.
And I know Sam Hunt's a Grammy Award winner, I believe. Definitely a show to check out.
He's big in Nashville.
Yeah, he ain't playing. I mean, that's a show. So catch him. The Margaritaville Boat Show, and there's also the Quality Home Show same day.
Yes.
At Margaritaville again, 26th and 27th. And honestly,
Lots
Garrett,
going on.
they're not all Margaritaville when we do this. There's just a whole lot going on at the same darn
Hey,
place.
it's popping.
It
Hey,
is. At the
I
end
knew
of
when that
summer.
was being built that.
Oh,
you
we
know,
all knew
would-
it. We all knew
would
it.
go crazy.
Heck
And we got
yeah.
that knife show going on November 4th and 5th, and we'll have an
Yes,
opportunity to bring that date and what
yes.
it is back up again to you. Let's do this. Let's close out with maybe a little something. That
Yeah.
whiskey song that
Whiskey
you
in
just
My Heart.
boom. We'll
gotcha.
wrap up.
Give us a little sneak
Folks,
peek.
Thanks for watching the Texas Ticket. We're gonna wrap up with Mr. Nunn. Take us out.
I guess you saw what I was drinking, and you thought there's a cliche cowboy throwing down lucky number 7 on the rocks. But you let me prove you wrong, 'cause we wound up dancing in the moonlight, drunk under the streetlights. Damn, you stole the whiskey to my heart. Girl, I knew from the start, dancing around that bar. Hard to believe how you got me. Took a shot in the dark, you sent me straight to the stars. Opened up my arms, you unlocked me. Oh, 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 oh. Girl, you stole the whiskey to my heart. Girl, you stole the whiskey to my heart. No. Girl, you stole the whiskey to my heart.
Thank you much.